Yes. Good morning, guys. Welcome to SUMUKHAINFOTECH. So this is the 21st day of our internship. As a part of internship, we are working on a project called face recognition based attendance system. Our aim is to train our machine learning model to detect the face of a person who is standing in front of the camera and store the recognized person details into a database. This is our aim. As a part of the project, we are done with data collection, training, and then prediction. Now we are working with respect to how to store the information in the database. In our previous class, we have discussed about how to connect PHP with MySQL and how to save the record into a table. If you have not yet watched that video, please watch that previous video. The link of the previous video is provided in the description. Please watch it and then watch this video. Otherwise, you will get confused. So, agenda of this session is how to write one generic function so that we can implement reusability with respect to executing a query. See, the concept is when it comes to a web application project, we quite often execute the queries like insert into, select star from, delete. So instead of writing code for each task, it would be a nice idea if we have our own function with parameter query so that we can reuse that function to execute multiple SQL statements. I mean, let us have a dedicated function and pass SQL to be executed as a parameter, get it executed. That is one thing. We need to write one function so that we can make use of reusability concept. And then let us implement the concept of API, application programming interface, so that we can send a request from Python to PHP to save the recognized person details into database. So this session is superb important, very important and very useful and interesting. Please watch the video till the end and learn to implement the things what we are going to discuss in this session. If you have any query, if you get stuck, please put it in the comment section. I will help you out. No problem. Let us start our session. And one more thing, if you are not yet subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do subscribe, like the video, share with your friends so that they can to take the benefit of this concept. Okay, let us start our session. Let me open my VS Code editor. This is my editor. This is our previous program. Let me once recall what we did in our previous class. Okay, so this line tries to connect PHP with MySQL with the help of the function MySQLi underscore connect. We are passing 4 arguments: host string, username, password, and name of the database. This if is written to check whether connection is successful or not. If it is unsuccessful, with the help of die, we will terminate the program, and with the help of this function, we will display the reason for failed connection. Okay, if connection is successful, this is the query we are going to execute. That is inserting a record. And then to execute the query, this is the line we are supposed to write. And then after executing the query, we need to check whether it is successful or not. If it is unsuccessful, again I will terminate the program and also display the reason for failed transaction. If this condition is false, everything is fine. Therefore, I am displaying the message record got saved successfully. This is what we did in our previous class. Okay. In today's session, let us define one function and make it a parameterized function. Let us pass this SQL as parameter to that function and get it executed so that we can reusability. Our aim is to implement reusability. If you want to implement the reusability, you need to define a function. So let us take one new file. Let me take a file. I will give file name as db.php. It means database related things I am going to do here. In PHP, as you know, this is the open tag and this is the closing tag. In this section, let us define a function. How to define a function? We have a keyword function. You can give any name. Let me call my function as execute. As I said before, I will pass one parameter, that is $SQL. So this is body of the function. Okay. So This function, as a first task, it has to connect with my database. Therefore, I will write this code. Let me cut and paste here instead of rewriting. Okay, this ensures the connection is successful. And then this line, to execute the query, I will use this. Okay, this executes the query. So my function, when I call this function, first it connects with database, checks the connection, executes the query. If everything is fine, let us return the result. Return $result. This is the body of the function. Here now, okay, let me check whether it works or not. Instead of Kiran, let me choose Sumukha. Okay, see now my function is part of the file db.php. To use this function in my program, I need to include my file. So first line I supposed to write is include once db.php. The purpose of including is to make use of the function. See, as in C programming we used to do #include stdio.h and then we used to call printf and scanf function. Similarly, db.php is a library which is created by us. It has a function called execute. If you want to use that function, you need to include that file by writing this line. Fine. Now my query is ready. Let me call the function. $result is equal to name of the function is execute, and let us pass SQL as parameter. Okay, let me check it out. So how to execute this? Go to your browser, take a tab, localhost. So where is your folder? Attendance project, your folder. Yeah, here we have a save student. Let me call this, let me click on it. Yes, it is working as expected. Record got saved successfully. Let me check it out whether it is there in the database or not. Yes, here is my record. Hope you can see Sumukha. It is got saved. The time and date are also automatically inserted. So my function is working perfectly. So hope you did understand why I have written the function. Okay, let me prove it practically. Now I am able to insert the record using this function. Now let us try to write one script to delete the record. Since we have our own library and we have a dedicated function to execute our queries, we need not to write the program from the scratch. Instead, let us make use of this function. Let me show you. I will create one more file. I will call it as delete student.php. Okay. Now you will realize why I have written my function. Let us begin with PHP open tag, PHP closing tag, include the library, include once db.php. Now the query to be executed is delete from. Okay, let us check which record we want to delete. Right now we have 3 records. Okay, let me delete Kiran. Okay, so what is the query I supposed to write? Delete from students. Let me check my table name is correct or not. Yes, it is students. If you write only this much, it will delete all records of the table, but I want to delete a particular record. Therefore, you need to use where class delete from students where name is equal to Kiran. Okay, so let us call the function $result is equal to execute $SQL. Hope you did understand why I have written execute function. Record Kiran got deleted successfully. Okay, let me check it out. Here, refresh. This is delete student. Yeah, record Kiran got deleted successfully. Check out in the database. Hope you can see the record with value Kiran got deleted. See, what is the purpose of what is reusability. Now you should be able to understand. Okay, we have a function called execute in the file db.php. This function is parameterized. We can pass the query to be executed as parameter and get it executed. So simple. Instead of writing the code again and again, you can save your time as well as memory by defining the functions. Okay, so we are done with our own library in PHP. So the important concept is, the next important concept we want to implement is this API, application program interface. So let us explore why we need API. See, in my project, face recognition part is done at Python. I have used LVPH algorithm, R cascade algorithm, LVPH, R cascade classifier. All these things are done at Python side. All these algorithms are helping me to recognize the person details. After recognition, I want to save the recognized person details in MySQL database. To save the record, I have written PHP script. Now I need a bridge between these two. I want to establish a communication between Python script and my PHP script. So to develop a communication platform between two different things, API plays very important role. API is very useful. That's why I need API. In Python, implementing API is very simple. We have a module called requests. Using this request module, you can easily send a request from Python to any third-party application so that we can get our work done easily. Okay, so therefore let me write one Python program. So let it be here. Okay, now I have a save student. Fine, here I have a save student. Done. Now let us write one API program in Python. So this is my Python folder. Okay, let me take one file. I will call it API demo.py. Okay, so as I said before, you need request module. So when you are writing the program for the first time, I think by default you will not be having the request module. You need to install it. So go to your terminal and type this command, pip install request. Pip install request. I think it is already part of my requests. Sorry, the spelling is requests. It is saying it is already satisfied. The reason is it is already part of my library. It is already part of my environment. That's fine. Okay, so no problem. I have my request library. Therefore, let me import this module. Import requests. This is the first line. Okay, we are now trying to implement our own API. Done. Okay, import requests. I want to send a request to my PHP program, which is part of my locally hosted server. Therefore, I will take one variable called URL. URL is equal to, let me write the URL, http:// so localhost. Reason is it is part of my local system. That's why if you are working with any real-time website, then you have to mention URL of that hosted website. Okay, localhost / what's the folder name? Here is my folder, attendance project. Spelling is important. ATTEND project, attendance project. ATTEND project. Fine. In this folder, I have a file. Save student.php. Save student.php. So this is the file I want to invoke. I want to send a request to from Python. That's why I have given URL of that file in this manner. Fine. Now it is very simple. If you want to send request, then use request module, requests request dot, the function name is, so I have forgotten, let me check it out, get. Okay, request dot get, the function name is get, and let me pass URL as parameter, and let us take one more variable called response. Okay, I will record the response of the my script in the variable called response, and let me display the response being received. Response is RESP. Okay, so this is my simple program. Okay, let me change the student details in save student. Okay, here Sumukha is there. Instead of Sumukha, let me Umesh. Okay, so if my code executes perfectly, the record Umesh will be stored in my database. Okay, so this is my API demo. Let me execute it. I will execute in terminal. I will select my terminal here. Let me delete everything and relaunch. When you launch the terminal for the first time, it will be in the PowerShell. So change it to command prompt. Fine. Here you can go for your virtual environment, my virtual environment, scripts, activate. Okay, let me execute it. If request is not part of my virtual environment, I will get an error. Let me show you. Python API demo. Yeah, see, my guess is correct. Module not found error. Request is not present. Earlier it was part of my base environment. This is not installed in my virtual environment. Therefore, let me install it. Pip install requests. Very simple. Pip install requests. This should install request module. Yes, it takes some time. Wait for a while. Yeah, we are done with installation. Now let me execute Python API demo. Fine. Yes, see, it is working perfectly. The response what we received is 200. What is 200? So in web technology, we have a concept called status code. When a client sends a request to server, and if server reacts, responds properly, if everything is fine, then we would receive the status code 200. If you got the status code 200, means everything is fine, successful. If you receive 400, 401, some technical glitches are there, you need to check it out. Since I got 200, everything is fine. How to confirm this? Go to your dashboard, PHP MyAdmin, check whether the record Umesh is present here or not. Click on browse. Amazing, it has got saved here. Hope you can see Umesh. Okay, it got recorded here. How it got saved? See, the concept is very simple. We have written a file called savestudent.php. This is part of www directory. Okay, we have a folder called attendance project. There it is saved, server side script. This script got invoked by Python. Here is my file, API demo.py. This is my API demo.py file, Python file. With the help of request module, I am sending request to my PHP script. So this is how we can establish communication between Python and PHP with the help of API. This is very important when it comes to implementing real-time projects. Definitely there will be multiple APIs. They are very useful and handy. It is working properly. We are done with API invoking between Python and PHP. Now let us modify the code. Here the person detail is static. I mean, here we have mentioned Umesh. Okay, if you want to store name of the person which is passed from Python file. That is very important, because in face recognition project, soon after detecting the face of a person, we are going to display the name. That name should be passed as parameter to this PHP file, because I want to record the recognized person details into table. Therefore, so we have a concept called parameter passing technique from Python to PHP. Let me go to my Python code. So here, let us take one parameter here. Parameter par is equal to, let us take one dictionary. Let us give name as key and value. This time, let me give the value as Krishna. Okay. What I want is, I want to pass this name key value pair, that is name is equal to Krishna, as a parameter to this URL. Very simple. After URL, pass your parameter PARM. PARAM. Let me change it. PARAM. So I am passing name as parameter, Krishna as value. Again, to fetch this name at PHP, we have a concept called request. Okay, you can fetch the parameter being passed from external links using the syntax. Let me show you. $name is equal to $_request. This is a predefined array in PHP. Within square brackets, within single quote, mention your parameter name. Okay, fine. Here, instead of Umesh, let me write $name. Done. Very simple. Now let me execute my Python code. Let me execute my Python code. Okay. If everything is fine, I should be able to see Krishna as a record in my PHP Done. We have received the status code 200. Let me check it out in my dashboard. Let me refresh it. Browse. Yes, Krishna got saved in table students. Hope you did understand this concept. It is very useful, simple. Okay, let me recall what we did today. So I have written, I modified. Let me clarify what are all the things I did today. Okay, so first I created one file called db.php. Here I have defined a function called execute, and I am passing $SQL as parameter. The whole idea is to reuse the code, to implement reusability. Okay, so this is what we did. And then I modified my program, save student here, to make use of the function which is part of db.php. I supposed to write this line, and then I would call this function $execute. This is how we can use a function which is part of PHP file. And then I went to my PHP Python folder. Here I created one file called API demo, and I imported this request, and make sure request must be installed with the command pip install request. And then I have written this URL. Okay, and then this is the parameter, and then to send a request to PHP, request.get, this get function sends request to PHP file, and parameter will be passed. And if the response code is 200, everything is fine. If you get any other than 200, something is wrong. Okay, and then I again modified my code here to fetch the parameter. This is what I have written, $request within single quote name. Okay, and then I have executed my query. So what we have done in Python, we have written one API which sends request to PHP to insert name of a person into table. Done. We are done with all these things. And one more important thing which is left is, soon after recognizing the face, I want to save that name into table. That is what very much important concept. Okay, so let us go to our Python code. Let us try to implement that one also. Okay, so let me open my face recognition code. I think prediction for live image. Yeah. So this is, let me execute this once. Let me execute this. Python face recognition prediction for live image. Okay. This should detect my face. This should recognize my face and display my name. Yes, it is working as expected. My name is got recognized. My face got recognized. My name is being displayed. Fine. Now what I want is, I want to pass this KB Raj as a parameter to PHP script via API. Okay, let us implement this. This is super important. Okay. Here, let us modify this API demo. Okay. Fine. Okay. Let me define one function here. Def, I will call it insert record, and let me pass name as parameter. Okay. As usual, you need indentation. Let me give indentation here. Fine. What is the purpose of passing parameter? Because the person whose face got recognized, that person name has to be set. Here Krishna, if you write Krishna means what happens, it becomes static, it won't become dynamic. Therefore I will replace Krishna with name. Then I have a function called insert record. It takes name as parameter that will be passed to my API. Okay, this is the code. I have modified it and the file name is API demo. Okay, so let me import this insert record here. Let me import insert record here. From API demo, import insert record. Yes, from API demo, import insert record. Done. Now, soon after recognizing the face, yes, yeah, here, if confidence less than 30, what does it mean? The face got recognized. Okay. Now let me call the function insert record and let us pass detected name as parameter. Done. So what I am doing here, I am calling the function and passing detected name. In this case, my name KB Raj will be passed. Okay, and this function will send my name as a parameter with URL, and my PHP has to insert. Okay, let me check it out whether it works or not. Okay, let me execute once again. Yes, I'm super excited to check this. Yes, I'm continuously getting the response 200. Okay, let me stop this code and let us go to our database and check whether my name is part of the table or not. Yes, here it is. Congratulations, it is working as expected. Yeah, but the problem is, instead of recording only once, the record got inserted multiple times. We call it as redundancy. What is the purpose? Why it has got repeatedly executed? Why it has got repeatedly saved? The reason is very simple. Here we have used one. See, for face recognition we have used infinite while loop. So whenever my face get recognized, it continuously invokes insert into code. See, we have used infinite while loop. What it does, the infinite loop continuously fetches the frame, recognizes the face. Soon after recognition, this function get invoked. That's why my name got inserted multiple times. The reason is we have used infinite while loop. Here continuous prediction will be done. Whenever the face get recognized, name of that person will be inserted multiple times. So we need to address this issue. We have a data redundancy problem. we need to address this issue. No problem, we have a solution for that. We need to modify our PHP code. Okay, I will explain how to solve data redundancy problem in the next session. Please you practice this much what we have done today. You try to execute this, try to implement it, and if you have any query, if you have any doubts, please put it in the comment section. If you have not yet subscribed, please do subscribe and let me know if you are facing any challenges. I'm happy to help. Okay, and in the next session, I will explain how to deal with data redundancy. Thank you very much for watching the video. Have a nice day.